Yeah.
Say something to your son.
Yes, I'm saying something to my son. I say I love him so much.
Uh-huh. What else you want to say? Mensaje?
I miss him a lot.
Uh-huh.
I can wait to see him so I can spank him for not being by here.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And I'll be coming to Oregon to get it done.
Okay.
I never thought the day would come where I would be making a video like this. It's not the type of video I ever wanted to make, because honestly, this really is the hardest video I've ever had to make. It's reopening a wound that hasn't even fully healed yet, and probably never will. The man you see standing here is Julio, my father, who a few weeks ago tragically lost his battle to COVID and passed suddenly. And wow, just hearing myself say that still feels so surreal. The fact that those words escape my mouth, it still is a troubling thought to process. I'm not gonna lie. And the lingering thought that I have still not gone through the burial process is frightening to me, because I'm not prepared to see my father not like this. I hadn't seen the man in years, and I'm finally going to get to see him again, and he's no longer going to be alive. It's a thought that has been haunting me for weeks now. It's almost as if a part of me is trying to avoid that inevitability, because for years I've wanted to see this man, and there's been so many life events that just made it impossible, and I do finally get to see him again. It's just not the way I ever intended or wanted. This isn't like any other life event I've ever come across. This isn't a small bump on the road. It's not a fall I've taken that I can get back up from. It's an entire pathway, an entire trail of my life gone, severed, no longer there. No more phone calls, hearing him in his raspy voice, telling me to invest in Bitcoin, or advice on how to change out parts in a car, or to just be updated about what's going on out there in that little desert town he loves so much. Or the sound of him irresponsibly on the phone talking to me as he's driving on his little truck with his timer belt so messed up and so loud I couldn't even hear him. I always told him to stop driving because he only had one good working eye, but he didn't give a damn. Now, there is more I want to get into, obviously, but I just want to get the main thing out of the way, which is the second hardest part of the video for me and why I've had so much trouble even putting it up. The prideful side of me doesn't want to ask for help, but this is for my father, so I have to set my pride aside. I set up a GoFundMe a few weeks back to start making some money to help cover costs for his funeral. I've put down some of my own money, the most I could out of pocket, and such amazing people with the biggest hearts in the world helped us raise over $7,000, and with that money thus far I've been able to cover embalming, casket, preparation, and a place for my father at a funeral home. I'm basically almost done with the process. The only thing missing left is to buy my father the piece of land to bury him. If you could find it in your heart to give whatever you can to this GoFundMe to make this a possibility so that we can finally lay my father to rest, it would honestly, well, it would be the biggest thing you guys have ever done for me, and you've already done so much. You guys have changed my life so much in the last year that it feels wrong to ask. A sense of guilt has made it so fucking hard. And I so wish that my father was still alive to see any and all support he was receiving right now. He would honestly be the type of man to see the 7,000 raised already and refuse to take it. My father was a man all about good company, good friends, a nice little truck, and a cup of coffee. And his only desire in life was to live, die, and be buried in the little desert town where so many people knew and loved him. If you guys could help me fulfill his only request in life, I would never be able to thank you enough. I'll leave a link in the description below if you do find it in your heart to either share this page or donate. You know, the strangest thing about death is how we feel in the moment when it strikes, that everything else in the universe is supposed to stop because a part of our universe, the one we loved, is gone. And then when you notice everything around you continues, it doesn't stop, you begin to realize that no one else in the moment of your death is going to care about you other than the people that love you. Think about it for a second. A small part of the universe, smaller than specks of dust, stopped what they were doing to mourn and grieve over you and to lay you to rest. It makes you realize how valuable love is, because it truly seeps out when we're gone. And it's almost as if death is a necessity, because it's the final confirmation, the final chapter in our lives to prove who we were. It completes us. This universe is cruel. This world is harsh. Everything about it is unfair. And sometimes it feels like it's actively working against you. But if after we're gone, if something in the universe stops to remember us, to cry over us, to express how much they loved us, is the only way we can really truly defy the universe. It doesn't give a shit about us, but we made a part of it give a shit about us. And I know the universe isn't some conscious being, but sometimes I feel like it never intended for that to happen, and that it hates that that happens. I've had so much rage and so much guilt inside of me. Too many sleepless nights, dreams of my father, memories hitting me while I'm in the middle of working on something, only to bring me to my knees like a little bitch. But this perspective on death has, in an odd way, helped me cope. Eventually, you have to accept there was nothing you could do. You couldn't stop it. You don't have the power. You wish you could have been there longer. You wish you were vaccinated so that you could have seen him in the hospital in his final days. You wish you could have held his rough, choppy, scaly hand and just have him see how much older you were, how much longer your hair's gone, how deeper your voice is, how much taller you are, how much your own ideologies and beliefs have changed, how much of my own person I had become. You non-stop beat yourself over the head thinking there may have been something you could have done. But there wasn't. The only things you could have done were when that person was alive. Live in the moment, grow together, love each other. Because the only things we can do in life are while we're still alive. And no matter how you put it, death is painful to all of us. But the real pain comes from death with regrets. The amount of time you could have spent with that person. All the stupid grudges you held against them that you could have dropped at any moment. But the minute that person ceases to exist, now is the moment we want to drop all those grudges. We can't live like this. And we can't die like this either. Don't die not having lived your life. It's become all that much more revealing to me because I never lost a family member. I never lost someone I truly loved so much. Were they the perfect father? No. Were they missing for many years of my life? Yes. But when the doctors tell you one of the last things your father said was, "Tell my son I love him," I stopped blaming my father for those missing years and started blaming myself. I could have been the bigger man. I could have been the one to go and seek him. I could have strived for change. And now it's too late. Makes you realize how necessary death is as a concept itself. If we're not humbled, if we're not reminded how limited time is, how every beat of the heart pushes us closer to the end, then we're never going to learn how to appreciate it. And believe it or not, I've learned so much, and I mean so much, about my father now that he's deceased than I ever knew before. The countless phone calls from people that knew him, family members, relatives, all those that were seeking him, made me realize that is what I need to strive for in life. Why build my own ego up? Why continue to feed it? Why continue to be the cocky piece of shit that I am if I can't even bury myself when I die? I must rely on those who are still around, and if nobody cares about me, I'll be incinerated, thrown into a pile of ashes, and nobody would have ever batted an eye. But when somebody loves you, when they care for you deeply, they will do whatever they can to lay your body to rest with dignity and respect. And even though your body is no longer animated, breathing, or pumping blood, your memory is very much alive to that person, and you end up somehow loving them even more after they're gone than you ever realized. I just want to personally thank each and every single one of you. There are some of you that have been subscribed for years and have watched me change so much. And because of that, I don't feel alone in this. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have the moral support from all of you. And I just don't feel like I deserve it. I never have. I've never felt like I deserve to have people care for me, to reach out to me like that. But I guess in some ways, that's how I resemble my father so much. The disbelief that anybody would give two shits. It means the world to me. It's the one thing I'm clinging on to keep my sanity during these times. At this point, I would take a goddamn bullet for you if it meant being able to pay back all this kindness. I am beyond grateful for everything that you guys have done for me. I just suck so much at showing it. But thank you so much if you sat there and listened to all of this misery. Trying to keep my composure, having to edit in pictures of my dad, having to see his footage, having to relive the memories, having to talk about it. I honest to God don't think I could have done it if you guys weren't there to listen. Thank you guys so much for the strength you have given me, the time you have given me, and the care that you have shown me. I love all of you. You guys have been there for me in the darkest points of my life, more than I even realize. The amount of people I have talked to from this community has shown nothing but great support and love. There's no way, and I mean no way, I could ever repay that back to you. But I will continue doing my work. I will continue trying to entertain all of you. I'm not going to slow down. I'm not going to set aside my work, because making you guys laugh, making you happy during the worst moments of your life, that is my number one motivator to get up. It has been since the beginning. I look forward to the many years to come. And with that being said, now that I can get that off my chest, I'll be seeing all of you with something a lot funnier and a lot more entertaining very soon.